Dude, what's up, DC Rackley? How you doing, brother? Aloha 808 Kevin K. How you doing, man? Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, it is Tuesday. I have a weird overnight job and it throws my days off. Let's see if I can do this. It's been a while. Awesome. Abby Vapes, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Appreciate it much. Seriously. What's up, guys? How's it going? Yeah, so that's the new intro. I've been working on trying to like update things and change things around, yada yada yada. And I haven't been able to use these for the lives yet. I've been doing them for the pre-recorded stuff and things like that. But yeah, I will like to apologize for just kind of being dead. Other than the pre-recorded videos on here, because just life, man. A couple weeks ago, I had the fuel pump on my truck go out, and that was not fun, nor was it cheap. Just saying. If you ever had to deal with that, oh my lord, that is just like the biggest pain in the ass ever. And then just like last week, My wife was homesick, so we were just kind of doing family stuff, and it's been like all over the place and crazy and all that. But yeah, user abuser, thank you for joining us, brother. How you doing? Hopefully you had a good nap or good rest or what have you. I think you work overnight as well, just like me, doing that overnight lifestyle. Makes for an interesting way of living, honestly, because most of the time you're sleeping when no one's home, which is kind of nice. And this is one of those things where you live a different lifestyle doing the whole overnight thing. Alrighty, so yeah, I got like some things planned out, some things we'll get to them when we get to them. But yeah, I just appreciate everybody that's coming in and all that kind of thing and stopping by. If you guys haven't been on here, this is the Let's Talk DIY. These I don't do as often just because I feel like I actually have to have an appropriate topic or something to do with the videos. Vlogs are a little bit more easier just because I just roll with it. I have my set what I'm going to do through it, but I just kind of just roll with it. Opposed to the Let's Talk DIY, I actually want to have a point or something to talk about. So, we're going to jump right into some what I've been vaping, and then we're going to be doing, some topic stuff that things I've been racking my brain about, and I want to put it out there, see what, you guys think. And then after that, we're going to do a DIY recipe I've been working on. It's this one right here. I named it Ender's Other Fruit Salad. We're going to look at that guy. Like, I'm going to show you guys how I mixed it and all that kind of thing. And I'm going to give you some thoughts and stuff like that. Alrighty, so let's just jump into some what I've been vaping. Alright, so what I've been vaping. I'm going to go with this guy because I already have it in my hand. This is the Project X with the extension tank on top of the Wakeco Modco Littlefoot 60 watt guy. Honestly, this is like a really cool little mod for this. The tank looks stupid ridiculous on top of there. It actually looks a lot nicer with the shorter tank, which I had it in front of me a bit ago. Where did it go? Oh, I put it on the other side over here. See, that's like the difference in the tanks. If you see that right there. This is the standard 2 mil. This is, I think, a 5 mil or something like that. Either way. Good stuff. In that, I have Whipped Witch from the Witch's Brew. If you guys have not checked them out, go check them out. They are really cool people. They make that juice line, and they also make the Warlock's Hammer, which this is an awesome mod, which I will talk about this guy here in a second. And they also make the Warlock's Guardian. If you guys have not checked those out, seriously, go check out Warlock mods. They are awesome. And Mark and Amy are amazing, awesome people. Project X, seriously, one of my favorite tanks. I am not much of an RTA guy. I've actually had this philosophical talk with some friends lately about that, and just like, because we were working on some trades and things I'm trying to get rid of and this and that, and like, well, I got this RTA, that RTA. I'm like, I don't like RTAs. I don't mind reviewing them, and I don't mind actually working through them, but at the same time, it's just very... that's how I feel about RTAs. It's just like, to me, it just feels like a pain. There are some RTA reviews I need to do and get those done and out of the way, but still, it's one of those things. How you doing, Tolmac? Hi, from across the pond. Yes, awesome. Thank you for joining us. UK, I am assuming, but I might be wrong. Either way, thank you for joining us. I know what it's like. Let me see, 9 in the evening over there. I think you guys are 6 hours ahead of us. You guys are in the future. Not as in the future as in Australia, but still in the future. Alrighty, so yeah, we did the Project X. We're going to go, like I said, talk about Warlock's Hammer. These are awesome mods right here. I really dig them. This is a dual 21700 parallel mod. They are amazing mods, seriously. Oh my god. And in here, I have on top of it, I have the Recoil Rebel. And in here, if you guys have not checked his channel out, go check out Texas Cloud Town. These are his coils. The dude's gotten into building. Me and him, when we went to the Houston Vape Showcase, we talked some coils, we talked some DIY, and what's it called? He got so excited he bought wire right away and started. He just started building, and he sent me some coils. I think these are the Quad 27 gauge. Yeah, they came out so low. I was like, okay, these are gonna rock on a parallel box, cause fuck, it's ridiculous. Oh my god, Gabe Claus is in. Josh Rhodes, what's up, buddy? Oh man, Gabe Claus, how you doing? How's the North Pole doing? You guys getting ready for Christmas? I know at work they're already talking Christmas. We are in August and we're already talking Christmas because that's retail for you. They already start putting out the fucking swimsuits in January. That's how bad retail is. I hate it so much, and I've been in it way, way too long in my lifetime. Alrighty, so yeah, Recoil Rebel DHD drip tip just to like match that the hell out. But I don't know. I'm really glad. Like I got that purple cap in a trade with this buddy that I made through the Namber Juice group, and yeah, I traded him some stuff and things like that. And I was like, I wanted to build this Rebel. Those coils went in there. I was like, they're too low. They're gonna go on the hammer. And then I was like, I have a purple cap. Oh, we're gonna see if that cap matches it. And yeah, it matches it. I hear that. Santa is a slave. Oh, you got the series. You got the, what is it? The stack in a box. I don't know what name they landed with eventually, but yeah, I remember at one point they were calling it the stack in the box. And I dropped my juice. Give me a second. All right, and in that setup, I have rectum balls off of my line. If you guys want to check it out, it's a key lime pie kind of situation, and that is over on clownvapes.com. Hashtag shameless plugs, because that's what I do. Honestly, I feel like my channel is nothing but a giant shameless plug at this point. I don't know if they're doing a follow up. I know they're. I even don't even know who's involved in this anymore, but I know Homeboy OC and Kent or Grim or somebody. They're coming out with an R sub-ohm tank or an RTA, one of the two. I just know, like, I know some things, but I'm not sure what I'm allowed to talk about. So we're just gonna leave it as it's a tank. There's a tank coming out. Back in what was it, March? At NVE, we talked to Dwayne, and he let us in on some stuff. And like me and Frames, we kind of went up to him. We did some video. We had some fun with it, and then we were talking like, you know, products and this and that. And he mentioned a little bit of a tank coming out. So I'm excited to see what the boys come up with that. I know Hell Vape is doing it with them because they already announced that a while back. So be on the lookout for that. It might be pretty good. See, next we're going with the purple hexome because I love hexomes, and I got that purple goon on top, another DHD drip tip, and then another one from my line is Blue Sin. Yeah, look at that, Blue Sin. You guys, again, want to go check that out, clownvapes.com. And we're gonna round this guy out with we got the Overlord axial on top, DHD drip tip. That's the Moss tip right there. Just like how that whole setup looks like. I need a black drip tip, but for now we're rocking it like that. We could just murder it out later. And then that from the Fountain Blast Off, as I showed off last night on Vaping with the Ohmies. Seriously, Blast Off, if you guys have not tried it, and this is not just because they sponsor us, like we seriously all got on the whole Blast Off train long before there was even talks about being sponsored or anything like that. Oh, Michelle, I try to keep my matchy game strong. I don't think you've seen it, but I actually found a AFC cap for my Twisted Messes V1 that matches your dull dime that you gave me. Damn it. Now I'm going to have to get up. And yeah, I am wearing pants. I don't know. Did I ever show you that, Michelle? Like, look at that. I don't know. I just love how that AFC cap actually matches the Altoids box. It's amazing. It made me so happy. Like, I bought it. I saw that I think Kent has them for like $5 for the original Twisted Messes, the AFC caps, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. Hopefully, it matches. And yeah, I'm like, oh man, that is so cool. Yeah, fun times. So yeah, and blast off. If you guys have not checked any of the other juices out, like Primitive is OPMH, as far as I remember, is OPMH, and the Espresso Cannoli, seriously, that juice, I tore through it. Like, it did not survive. And it's just all around amazingness. Ah, man. Alrighty, so yeah, that is what I've been vaping. Let's get into some Let's Talk DIY. Yeah, Michelle, I'll get you a photo on Instagram. I'll take one here after I finish up this. I'll get one up there on there for you. I know it's 2 Mod Tuesday, but screw it. Yeah, I even forget like all the weird like Instagram events and stuff that we do, like as a community, like 2 Mod Tuesdays. I know for a while there we were doing Warlock Wednesdays. I know, Michelle, you've been pushing hard for 10 Mod Thursdays, which we need to make that a thing. I know for a while there I was trying to do Woody Wednesdays, which is like anything stab wood you have, you post it on a Wednesday, but that didn't really that doesn't really it didn't go that far. I'll be honest, Stu Rep, yeah, I've only had the blast off, but I don't really need anything else. I mean, it's an amazing one. I don't know if you guys watched Vaping with the Ohmies yesterday, but Chase did announce that they are doing a OG original Mountain Dew, and I think there's like one more that they're coming out with. So it's one of those things that's like, I am excited to see how that OG Mountain Dew comes out, because I love Mountain Dew, but honestly, it's gotten to a point where it's way too much sugar for me, and it makes me feel a little bit ill. And yeah, like diabetes runs strong in my family, so I try to stay away from the over-the-top sugary stuff. Like, I've even been doing like stevia Coca-Cola lately, because it's slightly less, fructose, corn syrup, and all that kind of thing. And I'll be honest, I am highly addicted to soda. Like, I drink way too much for my own good, so I'm trying to like cut back wherever I can. That looks like a freshly washed no beard. Dude, this is not freshly washed. This is I just woke up 2 hours ago. That's what that is. Oh man. But yeah, DIY stuff. I don't know. Okay, like, I know a lot of like people, like, and I can't remember what the company is, and I even have a bottle somewhere in the shelf back there. But I don't know if you've met her, Taylor. She's an awesome person. I know she runs with this one juice company, and I'm feeling like an asshole right now for not remembering what it's called. But her, I know Eric Vinyl and Vapor, they're coming out with MTL juices, but they're base nicotine to combat this whole high nic salt situation. And just having random thoughts on the whole nic salts thing. Nicotine salts are meant to be more effective and more smoother of a hit when it comes to the nicotine spectrum. And just thinking about how that's what they're supposed to be meant for, like, it's supposed to absorb into your system a lot better, and it's supposed to be smoother so you don't get much of a throat hit. The fact that we're using it for mouth to lung throat hittiness, it seems stupid and redundant to me. It's always not made sense. I've never cared for it. I'm not a fan of high nic salts. I mean, I remember back in the day when we started, base nicotines went up as high as 50 milligram, and I've talked about it on this show before, and I know it's been brought up on other platforms that I do. But I feel that if we're really gonna do the whole nic salt thing, it should be actually backwards from how we're actually doing it. Like, instead of like using it for high like nicotine MTL, it'd be more for like low nicotine direct lung. If you were, I don't know, just random thoughts that I've had. Like, if you were gonna do like, if you did like a direct lung 1.5 mg, it would be basically the same as a 3 milligram. To me, is that would make a lot more sense since it absorbs into your bloodstream a lot more, and it works through your system a lot more. How can we justify this whole high nicotine crap? It just makes no fucking sense. Um, Base nicotine, I see that in the higher milligrams as more of a thing. But wow, dude, you're fucking hardcore. That's all I can say. You make a 60/40. I was like, you make a 60 milligram nicotine? Holy crap, dude. No, okay, 60/40 7 Nick. Yeah, dude. I mean, last night I kind of teased it a little bit, but let me see. Where's that bottle? I'm actually working on a MTL version of my lines of juices. I'm testing that guy out, and I have it in my K Fun. It's a 9 milligram. It actually does the job. I don't really need more than that, but I know there are some folks that look for that heavy throat hit. They look for that nice feeling of nicotine, especially if you're like at work and you can't really be like chiefing away all day. Like if you were at home, if you're in a work setting where you get like a very short break to go outside, get some nicotine, and then you got to get back to it. I get it. I really do. But at the same time, I feel like Nick salts are not the way. Uh, I just don't, I don't get that. You know what I mean? Let me see. Where was I? Childhood days. I must have Coke's Cheese Whiz, or I go into a coma state. Okay, fair enough. Got my doctor. Me too. Got my doctor. Okay, sorry. I got like a little. I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. DIY, but interested. Can anyone recommend a couple of sites to buy from? Thanks. Yeah, Hask. Dude, DIY sites. There's a ton of them. I just learned recently about DIYsupply.com. There is what is it? Nicotine River, Wizard Labs. I'm trying to remember what like their dot whatever is, because it's not even a .com. I know nicotineriver.com. Yeah, I know that's that paused me for a second. I don't like salts. I just use 72 milligram nicotine. Dude, what are you vaping to pull off a 72 milligram? Yes, Bull City's another good one. They have like Mullenberry. They have all that stuff. There's Liquid Barn. This is more what you're looking for, what you're needing, and what your price range is. Yes, Michelle, thank you. And so yeah, it's one of those things of like, I've tried Nick salts. I'm not a fan of them. I just don't like them. I hate that they sell 50 milligrams so freely, especially in like the pre-filled pods. There's really no step down. There's like a lot of companies that just put out a 50 milligram, and you know what company I'm talking about when I say this. They put out a 50 milligram and that's it. They don't really give a step down. There's no work down, and you're supposed to actually work your way down a little bit, you know? That's the point. You're supposed to like reduce your nicotine intake depending on which format you're trying to use. But there's just no real step down. There's no way to get off of it, and you just continue the cycle of addiction. Whether you're wanting to continue the cycle of addiction versus the versus actually stepping down, that's really your call. That's really where it's supposed to be, but you're supposed to be allowed an option, and I feel like a lot of pod systems do not. I know yesterday we were talking about the convenience store versus brick and mortars. I'm on that whole fence of, yeah, I would rather keep vaping to brick and mortars and certified whatever online retailers. But at the same time, with the whole convenience store, it's that whole idea of, if somebody walks in and just happens to see some random pod system, yeah, it's not on my desk, but there is one that you can get, and it's very inexpensive. I pay like $10 for it. I picked it up at my gas station. Like seriously, it was $1 for the system, and like $8 for the pods plus whatever tax. So for $10, I was able to get a full setup at a convenience store without much of a hassle. And it's one of those things of like, if you walk in as a rando that you're like wanting your cigarettes, but you just happen to see something and you see that, sorry, you see that special deal they have going on and stuff like that, that might pique your curiosity and it might make you want to buy a vaping system. And from there, who knows, you might actually go through what we went through with the whole vape journey thing. I mean, me vaping for me started in a vape shop. So that was my first experience. I remember the first time I actually saw vape gear was at a smoke shop. I used to go to smoke shops to buy cigarettes because the cigarettes that I like to get back in the day, they didn't carry at convenience stores at that time. Like I've seen them more recently, but they didn't carry them in convenience stores. So I actually used to have to go to specialty smoke shops, and walked in there once and I saw like the big old. I remember you guys like remember the old big mech tube looking things that look kind of like lightsabers, and they were like this big but barely had one battery in it and shit like that. And I remember walking in and I saw it and I was like, so how much is it for that thing? And I think it was like $250. I was like, I'll stick to my cigarettes. Was like seriously my reaction to that. And I remember like that was like my first experience with vaping, but my first like actual experience with vaping was in a vape shop. A friend of mine had noticed that there was a new shop in our neighborhood. She had told me, hey, they got these little cigarette-like looking things. You should try them out. They're pretty cool. And that's kind of where it started for me. Like, I don't know where it went, but I actually still have it. And it still works, oddly enough, because I didn't finish it. I ended up moving into the EVOD systems and things like that right away, because I was like, fuck it. But yeah, that's what a lot of things are here, at least in my area in Texas. A lot of shops are moving into hybrid stores where they're selling glass and vape gear, which I am not in full agreement with personally, but that's just my opinion on that one. I really think those two things should be separated, and it's just one of those weird things of just no, I'd rather keep those things separated. Brandon Amaker, sorry if I mispronounced that, but how are you? Welcome. James Rivera, how are you, brother? Let me see who I saw somebody else jump. Oh yeah, Raven Shadow Vapes, how are you? Like, sorry if I don't like say hi right away, but like I'm ranting over here, ranting and raving. But yeah, back to the Nick Salts thing. I just feel like we're kind of doing it in the opposite direction of how it actually should be used. Being that it's supposed to be a smoother draw, it's supposed to be more effective, we should actually be doing it backwards. I feel that if we did like a 1.5 milligram, it would fit more into like the equivalent of a 3 milligram. But these are just my random thoughts. I don't know. You guys, what do you guys feel on that? I don't know. Again, like I said, we just don't need high nicotine Nick Salts. It's meant to absorb into your system. You know, it's supposed to be more efficient. So why the fuck do we need to like have it go so high? Awesome, Brandon. I appreciate that I said your name right. Because seriously, I am shit for pronunciation and I'm horrible for remembering names. So I try my best. Really, that's funny. The user abuser. He says he was in a head shop recently and they still had one for sale behind the counter. That's the one thing I'll say, at least here locally, and we were kind of touching on that last night on Vaping with the Ohmies. They at least a lot of shops around here either stick to whatever's safe, meaning your smocks, anything very and this sounds redundant as I'm like thinking about it and saying it, but the more mainstream stuff, anything that is more trendy and all that kind of thing, it just sticks. They like shops stick to like things that they could sell easily, and they go very low risk. And I don't know, it makes me sad because it just kind of destroys the idea of being able to progress within your vape journey, being able to grow. And then you turn to online sales. And I mean, as an online shop owner, for me, that's a great thing. But at the same time, I think it stagnates company like vape shops themselves, the brick and mortars. Or if you've been a very established brick and mortar, at least here in my area, you tend to have very old vape gear that you're still trying to sell at full price from back in the day. I remember I haven't been to this shop in like 2-3 years. No, yeah, in like a year and a half. I'd gone into the shop that I used to go to. I went in there just to see what they had going on and things like that. And they still had El Cabron RDAs. If anybody remembers those, the El Cabron RDA, and they're still wanting like $70 for it. And yeah, I get it. You fucking bought it and had to pay, wholesale, whatever wholesale was for that thing, this and that. And you're trying to make your profit off of it. But at the same time, it's hit that point. It's hit that point of this shit's old. You kind of gotta like tone down your pricing on that kind of shit. Let me see. So DTL Salt Nick, I don't know, seems kind of sketchy, like the Smock Nova mod. Okay, see, here's the thing, Stu-Rep. Nick salts work exactly like nicotine, like base nicotine. It really does. The only difference is that it's smoother and it has easier absorbability. That's what I'm saying. If you were to do a 1.5 milligram versus a 1.5 milligram Nick salt would be the equivalent of a 3 milligram Nick salt, or of a freebase. Sorry, I'm getting myself all jumbled here. So that's kind of where like that whole thing is. And like everybody's kind of, and I hate mentioning this, but like Juul really kind of started the whole mouth to lung Nick salt trend. Nick salts and base, like you seriously can mix them exactly the same. There's no real difference on how you mix them. They're going to be Nick salt's a good starting point is 35 milligram downward level. See, I would agree with you to a point, Raven, but I really think 20 like 20-25 max. But those are my thoughts on that one. I've been kind of like getting all preachy about that. Personally, don't use them. Tend to use lower freebase, like 6 milligram. Yeah, pretty much. What part of Texas are you from? Dude, I'm in the DFW area, like Dallas, Fort Worth. That's where I live. Let me see. Started at 24 milligram mouth to lung. Dropped down to 12 milligram. Got the Nautilus. Yeah, I mean, that's how I started, man. I started it at 24 milligram on an EVOD tank, and I rocked that for the longest time. And then I moved on to the Nautilus Mini. Eventually, when I found the Kanger sub-ohm tank, and I was still vaping, I think I was like at 60 milligram at this point with the Kanger sub-ohm tank. Was it the Kanger sub tank, that whole kit situation? I was still vaping 60 milligram, and that really changed my life because it was like the tank that changed it for me. As a smoker, I was a direct lung smoker, and yes, that sounds psychotic, and a lot of people don't believe you can do it, but I can. I used to tear through a cigarette in about 3 to 4 puffs, maybe less. I was actually able to chief down a full cigarello in about 3 minutes flat because I timed it, because I'm that kind of asshole that I was like sitting there. I was like, how fast do I go through these? And I seriously tore through it in about 3 minutes flat. I timed it. I sat there just not even like competitively trying at it, just kind of doing my thing. And yeah, I was like, wow, is that a bad thing? My Kanger was black. I had the black one. Let me see, where was I? I'm trying to keep up with chat here. See, Shane Oakley, what's up? Nicotine is so much smoother than Nick salts. Nick salt is too harsh. And that's the thing, like, again, Nick salts, everybody's experiences with the high nicotine. Have you tried it at a lower level? Like, at least as far as I know, and the science is supposed to be smoother. I've tried it at 6 milligram when I was still vaping 6 milligram, and I just didn't get it. I don't really even remember the experience. I ended up throwing the juice because I was like, I don't get it. Whatever, it's stupid. I still have like the Nick Salt bottle. It's probably expired by this point. I probably need to toss it, but I gotta figure out disposal of that. Let me see. What's up, Chris Storm, aka Tuna? Okay, dude, I've seen your name. Is that a Office reference, or is it just you just or is it just like a nickname thing from your friends? Kind of like with me, clown actually comes from a nickname in high school. I used to draw clowns on everything. In high school, I seriously had sketchbook upon sketchbook with nothing but clowns just massacring, destroying things. There you go. Sorry. Getting all tongue tied. Let me see. Everybody's saying hi, which is awesome. I'm appreciating that. Most shops want to throw away gear. The high end or nice stuff is risk to keep in inventory. Well, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, like, you could do like a mixed bag of stuff. You could get like a couple of Twisted Messes 24 Pros and then keep some fucking smock tanks. Honestly, you don't like have to just stick to a bunch of like smock stuff, Anakin stuff, and just a bunch of sub-ohm tanks. I've seriously gone into shops where all they have is sub-ohm tanks, and that to me is just like, I get it, but at the same time, come on. You could do some RTAs or something, shit. Speaking of juuling, earlier I had a group of teenagers out in front of my apartment juuling. Yeah, dude, actually, that had that issue a while back. At the old apartment, I don't know if you guys ever saw those videos, but at the old apartment, we had some dipshit kids sitting outside. Like the way our apartment worked, there was a staircase right next to our balcony, and we had the balcony open, and we had this dipshit kid outside standing. Yeah, I'll fucking kick that bitch, like just mouthing off. And I went out there and just kind of sat there, and he was vaping, and I'm like sitting there looking at him like, okay. So I sat there just looking at him, and he kind of didn't appreciate me staring at him, so he just walked away. And I seriously wanted to just snatch his fucking smock tank from him and fucking throw it in the garbage, but at the same time, not my kid. And some parents are weird and touchy about you fucking disciplining their kids, and it's one of those things of at that point, instead of fucking getting mad at me for disciplining your kid, how about you fucking do your goddamn job? It's one of those weird things. Let me see. Those EVODs and Pro Tank minis were great back in the day. Yeah, they were okay. Silica wicks. Yeah, I did the whole tentacle silica wicks and all that kind of shit. Mutant X RDA. Those were little things were fun. Blow the movie. Oh, okay. I've still not seen Blow, man. I've been telling myself to do it. I even bought it digitally long ago. It's still on my Voodoo account or whatever the fuck they're called nowadays. The whole Violet movies for like streaming and shit back in the day. And I still haven't seen it. Let me see. Agree users still have a few. I still have to use the Moonshot RTA. Cool. The Moonshot RTA. Never got to use that. No, this is not the SX. It's the Baby Nest. I don't think it's as an SX chip. It's just random. I still need to do a little more research on that guy. But that is a K fun on top. Yeah, they went out of business. I know that I can't remember what they had, like. They transferred all their accounts to something else, like Flickster or shit like that. I don't remember. I just know I have it, and I actually looked at it a while back on my phone because I still have the app on it. But yeah, Violet is dead. If you did not keep up with those emails that they were sending that you need to transfer all your stuff to another thing, you lost any movie you ever got through that. And granted, there's services for all that kind of thing nowadays, but still. That is the K-Fun Lite 2019, the new guy. This is the 24 millimeter. I got it off of Mr. Thick Nick. he was getting rid of it, and I was like, bro, I will take it off your hands because I am interested. Alrighty, so I was gonna do a little mix with you guys here. This portion is pre-recorded because I do not have full setup yet to be able to do a top down while doing the FaceTime stuff. So I'm gonna just play this video for you guys. I try to shorten it down as much as I could. It's about 11 minutes or so, and I just want to run through it, and then we'll come back and we're gonna talk about this juice right here. I'll give you guys some thoughts and all that. And I've been vaping through it because I couldn't help myself and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I keep church off Latter-day Saints. Okay. Alrighty, cool. Dude, you got an Addy Toonie Monster V2. That is awesome, dude. All right, guys. So I'm gonna play this for you, and yeah, I'll catch you guys back here in a couple of minutes. To get my hands on some and give that a try, because I've heard that one's actually a lot better than this. And okay, I'm gonna restart this thing. I'm gonna restart it because there was no audio and I didn't notice that I had it muted. So let's do this. All right, guys. So here it is. This is the mix portion here. We are going to be making Ender's Other Fruit Salad. And hopefully you guys enjoy this recipe if you try it out for yourself. But first, we're going to show a couple of the flavorings we're going to be trying out. We're going to be doing Capella's Apricot, Capella's Sweet Guava, Sweet Mango. We got Perilium White Grape. We also are using Golden Pineapple. And lastly, WS3, which is like a menthol type situation. It gives it a cooling sensation. I really have not played with menthols a whole lot, I'll be honest with you, but trying that out really was an enjoyable experience. And I know there's WS23, which I really need to get my hands on some and give that a try, because I've heard that one's actually a lot better than this. And personally, I want to try it and see how I personally feel about it, you know. Alright, so let's get this all set up and going, and we're gonna do this. Alright, so first we're gonna start off with the apricot. Let's turn this guy on, if it'll turn on. This thing's like so temperamental when it comes to turning it on. As you can see, it is zeroed out. Always make sure you are zeroed out. If not, you'll have more or less this issue right here, and that could throw off your measurements. Just so that way you actually pay attention to exactly what you're doing. All right, so we're gonna start off with the apricot. We're just gonna go down the line. As you can see, the recipe over here in this corner, it has it for you. It's as I'm making a 60 ml bottle, which that is what I have right here, and we are going to need 1.2 grams, because we have it set to grams right here. We need 1.2 grams of apricot. All right, let's do this. All right, it went slightly over by a 0.01, which that doesn't really make too big of a difference, to be honest. just don't go too overboard. And I will say, when making like the little 15 mil testers, it's kind of interesting. All right, let's zero this guy out again. Next, we're going with the golden pineapple. We are doing 1.5 on that one. Oh wow, that just jumped up for no reason. Alrighty. So that was the golden pineapple. Next, we're gonna go with sweet guava. Alright, and this one, it calls for 2.1. Alright, so let's do this. Alrighty. So we got that guy out of the way. Next, we're going to go with the sweet mango. Again, it's a 2.1. And let's reset this guy before I forget. I tend to be an idiot about that. Alright, let's do this. Alrighty, there it is. Again, it went slightly over, but we should be fine. And I will say, that mango reminded me a little bit of Carango from Transistor. If you guys have ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. Just had like that weird smell of the mango from Carango. It just made me think of like, it's just missing my things before I anyway, to be honest. Alrighty, so there we have a rocking and rolling in there, and now we just need to add your VG and a syringe, mostly because it's just like the easiest delivery system style I have. If you have more like this style of bottle with that kind of like, so with this we need 50, only like about 40 milliliters, but in weight it's about 50 grams. So you got to keep that density in mind. It'll take a lot more when weighing it out. All right, so let's do this. Alrighty, so that is the VG portion right there. I'll put the cap on this fellow right now. For now, we're gonna put it off to the side over here. We're gonna bring in the PG. And again, if you have bottles that actually allow you to do this a lot easier, more power to you, and just go ahead and do that. Honestly, me, is just, this is the way I like to do things, and it just works out for me, honestly. All right, so we're gonna need 9.3 grams of this, of the PG solution. I'm using a slightly smaller needle because honestly I don't need as big a needle. All right, so that way you don't cross contaminate your VG and PG. All right, let's do this portion real quick. Again, there it is. And then lastly, we're gonna do our nicotine, which again, with the nicotine, I will say adjust accordingly to what your personal preferences or what you are aiming for. If you're looking to do more like a 12 milligram mouth to lungs type situation, I've never played around with my recipes for a mouth to lung, so I don't know how this will work out. I think it might be okay, mostly because it's a very flavorful recipe. But always do remember that you gotta play around for your personal preferences or what you are aiming for in the recipe itself. And there we go. We got some nicotine in this needle here. And we're doing this at 3 milligrams, so it's 2.27. So let's do this. And seriously, guys, keep gloves very close by. And that, see, I forgot to zero that out. So we got a couple of drops in. We're going to account for that, and let's just drop it down to a 0.2 or 2.2. Alrighty, so there's the nicotine, and lastly, we're just gonna get this cap on here. As you can see, we're gonna move this scale out of the way, turn that guy off. As you can see, all of it is nice and in there. Get some bubbles going in there, and remember, the nicotine does affect how the flavor will steep over time and things like that. We'll say this guy, minimum about a week, like, or give it at least 3 to 4 days. You'll start noticing like the guava kind of mellow out a little bit, the mango come out more, the pineapple mix in a little bit better, and all that kind of situation. And it's just one of those weird things. If you just gotta give it time, let it do its thing, and then eventually you get something that's very delicious. Like guava initially is a very pungent taste, but yeah, just giving some thoughts at the moment. But I'm gonna take you guys back over to the current me, the live me, and I'll catch you guys up there. We'll talk some pros and cons and see what else what else can I assess from trying out this recipe. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys up top in the FaceTime stuff. All right, so some flubs aside, and I don't know what the hell the lag was about, but that was it. And James, seriously, bro, thank you for the all the advice. You were on point. Michelle, awesome, thank you. These are people also DIY. I know Michelle DIYs clove up the wazoo. She loves her clove, and that's how she lives. But no, James does his stuff too. So James, I gave you a wrench. If you could please drop the ELR link. It was in that doc file that I dropped a bit ago, but if you could put that on the chat, that way Brandon knows exactly where to go. Like I was saying, do look up the most highly rated recipe you can. Like you could just seriously type in just whatever flavor comes to mind. Like I think you were talking about a cookie or something like that, and do the cookie, just type in cookie and it'll bring up any recipe that has cookie related stuff. Go to ratings, go to the highest rating, and then when you go into the recipe, if it's a public recipe, most people tend to like leave notes of, well, I did this, or I subbed out this for this, this much steep time made a difference, and all that kind of thing. So always keep all that stuff in mind, just because it does play a lot into it. It's not rocket science, but there is a little bit of just learning to tweak for your preferences and things like that, and it just helps a lot. Chocolate chip cookie recipe, yeah, and that's all I was saying. Try to look up the best rated recipe you can for that. It helps out quite a bit. But yeah, so yeah, back to this guy. This is Enders of the Fruit Salad, which the reason I made this juice was what's it called? I do have a Patreon, which I forget to promote. It's one of those weird things of just I feel like I'm asking for money and it just feels weird. But it helps me out, honestly. With what I made this past month, I was able to get the Recurve Dual. I'm still to that point where I don't get free crap. I really don't. And even then, I don't care for it. I'd rather buy my own gear, because that way I get to review what I want to, not what they send me, which is one of the weird things. Yes, sir, dude. No problem, James Rivera. You're was it the UK guys call them spanners, which still cracks me up, but I like that term. What's it called? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, a lot of it trying to get those recipes. Oh yeah, well, it was the Patreon thing. So one of the things I do for the Patreons is I do a DIY along. I'll run a randomizer, which I am so behind on these videos. This was actually supposed to be like from 2 months ago, and I barely have been able to get around to it, just trying to catch up on things. And so I get to we'll get in a chat, whichever format is easiest for you to communicate with me. We'll talk out what is something you've been wanting to do. This is mostly to challenge me, but also to do something nice for the Patreons. And Basically, what I do is we talk recipes. We talk what is something you've been wanting to look for in a juice. What are some flavor profiles you've been kind of like, why haven't they done this, or something that you just want to try out yourself to see how you feel about it. And this was Ender from he's on the Stooge Crew Discord and things like that. And we were talking like, what does he want? He wanted like a mango, guava, menthol kind of juice. And we were talking like what could balance out what, and we actually got into it quite a bit, and it was pretty fun. And I'll buy, if I don't have it on hand, I'll buy whatever I need to, and then I'll mix up the juice, make a video out of the whole situation, and then I'll make a bottle for you, send it off to you, and then I'll keep one for myself, and that way I get to do the video. But that's just one of those weird things I thought would be kind of cool to do with the Patreons. It's an interaction, and you get something out of it, and that falls for any tier from $1 to $20, because that's as high up as I go, because anything higher than that just seems stupid. But that's just an IMO thing. What's it called? So it's one of those things of just kind of like gives them more back and forth. But back to the juice. Yeah. I'll be honest. I am not a menthol guy. I don't do menthols, and playing with menthols. I don't know if Raven's still around, but I actually had to like message her, and I was like, hey, I don't know menthols. I'm trying to work on a menthol juice. What do you recommend? And she gave me some ideas, and like I've played with Cool Mint before, which isn't really a menthol. It's just more of a like cooling sensation, but it's not a real menthol. And but it gives it more of a minty taste, if anything. And so it doesn't have that fully cooling sensation. And she was telling me about WS3, WS23. About the WS3, try that out, because even like Ender had mentioned it, and I'd never heard about it, because again, I don't do menthols. Menthol aren't my thing. So I was all like, all right, let's try this out. I'm not gonna lie, I just fell in love with it. I actually had like 5 different styles of the recipe set up to do, and I even bought the flavorings of different menthols and this and that. Except for colada, I can't do colada. I've tried juices with colada in it, and there's just this weird taste in it that just makes me feel ill, and I can't do it. Not going to. And it's one of those asterisks kind of things of, if you want colada in it, you can go ahead and do it yourself, because I ain't going to vape that. But so yeah, the WS3, I fell in love with it. I thought it was an amazing cooling agent. I still need to try WS23. I heard that one's even better. It has better taste, and it just all around a lot better, and you use a lot less, which, hey, that's always a good thing. If you're using less material to get more better result, that's even better. But yeah, the guava, I will say it is a pungent flavor, especially if you're and Brandon, like no, you're kind of new to this whole situation, but a lot of fruit vapes tend to be very shaken vape, which means you can mix it up and start vaping it right away. You don't have to let it steep. With like your creams, your desserts, stuff like that, you got to let it sit around for a couple of days. Minimum, most people would say 4 to 5 days. Personally, I wait like about 2 weeks on those, just because it feels that I like how well they develop after 2 weeks. And I guess I'm like more of an old school guy, because like in the like when I first started DIYing, a lot of people always recommended on your creams and stuff do 2 weeks, and I'm still kind of on that. Like I feel that after 2 weeks, that's when you get the true flavor of it. But you could really, after a week or so, start vaping most creams, desserts, and things like that. Back to your fruits, you could really like this. If you could see, it's got a nice green tint to it. I know the label kind of gets in the way there. You can kind of see it. It's got a nice green tint to it. Most fruits that I've ever mixed always do that, and that's about 2 weeks worth right there. So it's already at that 2 week point. This one, about the 4-day mark, I think hits its stride, and you can start vaping and it'll taste fine right away. That guava just overtakes everything, and it's really like overbearing to where it's like, I remember Pippa, I think was it this past weekend or a couple of weekends ago, DIY Down Under. She's an amazing person. If you want to go check out her videos, she does a lot of DIY stuff, and you go check her out. Or Fresh03 is another great way to go. The dude, he's an amazing guy. Got to hang out with him a while back, and like I've been following him for a while and things like that. And these are great places if you want like more in-depth DIY than what I do. I feel like I do like the light version of DIY. They go into like this whole nother level of depth that I'm just like, oh my God. I just Big Ford's guava and smells like smells candy like. Gonna try the SFT at 3% and give 3 days. I'll let you know. All right, cool. Bye, Michelle. Bye, Michelle. Yeah, I'm kind of running short on time too. So it's one of those weird things. Like, it's really good. The WS3, the way I ended up mixing it, it's actually more of a background note, if anything. I made it in a small 15 ml version just to try it out and see how I feel about it. And I accidentally overdid it with the menthol. So it was menthol heavy and it was the foreground taste. Like, there was the fruit, but it was just like fruit with menthol. And this one's more fruit with like a nice cool right behind it. And I really like that. I thought it was really cool. Made me really happy like how this turned out. Hopefully Anders gets that bottle soon. And like, the dude lives in Canada, so trying to send things from here to Canada, even though our neighbors eat up like way too much time, and hopefully he gets it soon and he's able to try it out. And I can't wait to hear his thoughts on it. But my personal thoughts on it, I like it. I think it came out great. The way all the flavorings that I used blended really, really nicely. That like white grape was more as an accent note just to help push along everything else. The mango comes out perfectly. It just all around just makes me happy. The peach is one of those weird ones where you got to be careful, because peach can overtake everything if you go a little too overboard with it. Because I've done it in some of my other like DIY mixes and it just kind of eats up way too much. But always, bear that in mind, keep all that in mind. And it's one of those things. What else? I don't know. I'm very happy how this came out. I have it currently in my Ruby 21. Really rocking and rolling. Seriously, like I said, the menthol is more of a background note. Normally when they're the foreground note, they choke me up really bad. And that's part of why I don't like menthols. I didn't like menthol cigarettes. I was not much of a menthol guy ever. And like, I did try some, like, you remember those? Well, I think they still have them. But the Camel Crushes, I jumped on that train when they came out because I thought it was a pretty cool concept. But at the same time, menthols just took me out. So I'm glad I kind of found like my own balance for a menthol juice that I can actually vape and not get all choked up. Because what are they? Savage. They have a menthol juice. And I liked it, but the menthol choked me up so bad that like my chest started hurting from coughing so much. Yep. Yeah, that link that James put down there for the ELR, that is it'll take you right to a recipe, and I know the dude did you right. All right, guys. I think I'm done ranting for the day, and I appreciate everybody hanging out with me and all that. And hopefully I could do this sign off thing very easily, where I don't mess this up, because I know I'm going to. I tried doing like trial runs on this and it didn't really work out, but we'll see. But seriously, guys, thank you for joining me. Check out clownvapes.com. I got juice, I got coils, I got some hardware. I know I have the Ruby 21 on there. I just added the .mod AIO if you guys want to give that thing a look. And seriously, if you guys buy that thing, go over to CS Wood Designs. He made me these really cool panels for this guy right here. These are Juma panels. And I have another pair down here. And hopefully I'll get my other mods that he's working on for me right now back pretty soon. But the dude does amazing work, and he's been doing panels for the .aio/Billabbox. They work on both because they are very cross-compatible on the panels. So yeah, go check that out. Addy Tooney coming in right there with all the advocacy links. Seriously, do your part in advocacy. Like, it's okay. Like, this is sound like I feel like an asshole for saying this, but like, okay, CASAW, they are amazing people. They do all the work they possibly can, but you got to keep in mind they are a small organization, and they can only do so much. So with that in mind, the best advocate for you is yourself. Stay aware with your surroundings. Be aware of your local legislature, your town halls, anything that is going on. Try to be aware of this stuff. Try to be active in your own community. You know what I mean? It's one of those things of don't wait around for an email. Like, the email blasts are amazing, the calls to action are amazing, but at the same time, don't just wait around for that. Actually go out and do something for yourself. Be very hyper aware of what's going on around you. It's one of those weird things. But Vaping with the Ohmies on Mondays over at the Vaping with the Ohmies channel. I think I have a link down below. Then go check out Wolf Bite Radio Show over on Vape Radio. We are on Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 9 p.m. with replays on SoundCloud. And on Thursdays, I do post videos of I think it's 6 episodes behind from where Vape Radio and SoundCloud should be. So if you guys don't catch those, you could at least go here on my channel and check out our goofy faces and how much I play on my phone the whole time. Because I'm not going to lie, I do it. Alrighty, so that was the show. I appreciate you guys for coming by. Thank you, everybody. And seriously, have a good day. Have a good week. I think I might still be doing the vlog tomorrow. We'll see how I feel about it. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. And as always, mix on, vape on.